Yeah.
But then you also look back, and I remember like our little vacations I would take with my kids. I mean, there's so much, like you said, it's so hard, but wow, if I had to pick one, if I had to say I would like to rewind my life to a point in time and do it again, I would do it right before I got married.
Okay.
Like, wake up that morning and take off from day one and live those 24 years again, or 21 years again.
Oh, that's a lot.
No, I've been married for 21 years. 21 years.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
I wouldn't mind reliving those 21 years again and try to get it.
Yeah, I was
try to get it right.
about one day, but okay.
Oh, no. Okay, that's true. I was just thinking like I
I
wouldn't mind a redo.
Cool. Like, it's cool.
All right, what about you?
What about me? One of my happiest memories is my graduation trip, my high school graduation trip. It was just like so like wholesome the whole like time that we were there. We were there for like maybe 5 days. We went to like the south of Brazil, which is kind of like European.
Mm-hmm. That's close to Uruguay, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we went to this like hotel, which is also kind of like a farm. Mm-hmm. So you could go hiking, you could like go horse riding. How do you say it?
Horseback riding.
Horseback riding. That's right. You could do like a bunch of stuff, and I was like with my best friends from high school. It was like 8 of us. And it was kind of cool because it was like we were all dating. Like, okay, that sounds weird. So
you were dating your friends.
So it was like four guys and 4 girls.
I know Brazil was weird.
So it was 4 guys and 4 girls, and we were like 4 couples, you know. Okay. So like my friend was dating this girl, I was dating this girl, and my other friend was dating this girl. So it was just cool. It was like we're all like friends and couples, so but it wasn't like weird. There was like no like third wheeling.
Okay.
And like we just enjoyed that time so much, you know. It was like my best friends in high school were together. And after that, we kind of like knew that we wouldn't be able to see each other for like a long time, which we didn't.
Dude, I hate that feeling.
Yeah. But it's such a good memory that I would go back to that week.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because I don't know if everybody has that wisdom. But if you can go back to your past self at the age you are right now, what advice would you give that past self about that time, or about time period?
About time?
Yeah.
I guess don't be afraid to be who you are, I guess. Okay. I guess because I was really shy until I'd say the first couple of years of high school. I was so shy that I didn't get to live life to the fullest in certain moments because I was worried about, you know, like I wanted to be cool, and I wanted to, you know, just fit in. So I guess one thing I will tell myself is like, hey, just be yourself, man. Mm-hmm. You know, people like you. Right. Because when I became more like extrovert, you know, I got comfortable with my friends and they liked me because of who I was, who I am. I was like, whoa, this feels nice, you know?
You know, and I think about like at the age of 15, I remember being with, same thing, you know, I was raised fairly, let me say, I would say, I don't want to say the word free, you know, because I wasn't a slave or anything. I'm just saying like I was raised liberally, let's say, just, you know, yeah, we were able to do pretty much whatever we wanted. Yeah. You know, I think I had good upbringing in that sense. You know, my mom trusted us a lot, and I knew like at the age of 15, it's funny, I used to say like, this is going to be the best time of my life. And it was great because I was enjoying that time. But after that, I almost looked at life for a bit like, oh man, after this, I'm going to have to, you know, graduate from high school, get a job, you know, get married, have kids, and it's going to be a drag. Right. You know, and I kind of had that mindset for a while. That's why I was like, I don't even know if I want to get married and have kids. I think I just want to just be, because I didn't want to stop living that life. But I think you know, I think it's good to plan for the future. I think it's smart to, you know, whether you want to get an education, start a business, you know, do whatever it is that you want to do, that's fine. But I think we can't forget to live today or enjoy the time that you have right now, because that time, it doesn't come back. We don't have a time machine, unfortunately. Right. You know? And maybe if we did, we'd probably make a mess of our lives anyways. You know, if we can go back and correct this and we'll mess somebody else's life up, you know, it's almost important to, you know, take stock of your life, be like, wow, I got it good. Or even if you don't have it as good as you would like to have it, I think it's important to just savor that moment. And I think when you start enjoying your time and the blessing you have to be like, dude, I'm alive. I can eat. I can have fun. I can laugh. I can tell jokes. I'm free to do, even in this country, I'm free to worship however I want to, or politically think however you want to, or, well, I don't know about get a vaccine or not, because that's not
it's not so
it's not so free anymore. Yeah. But you had that choice. You had the choice to just either do you or do a bad version of you, a good or a bad version. That we stop enjoying. We're so focused on like, oh, in the future I can have this. I can or in my past this happened, and we forget about the now. Not knowing that tomorrow you may not wake up.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people, like if you're young and you're listening to this, you're probably like, oh, my parents have said this 100 times. But me being older than you, it's like, yeah, that's so true. It's so true. You look back and, and I'm sorry I'm going long on this, but I remember my mom wanting to take us on trips that I'm taking my kids on now. And I was like, no, I just want to stay here with my girlfriend. And, like that's all there was. And I'm not saying that, if you have a relationship, fine, take care of it. But sometimes we forget that there's a little bit more. There's a bigger world out there. There's people that care and want to be with you. And we were like, oh, my mom will be there forever. And, blah, blah. My mom had COVID and I was like, ooh, that's kind of scary.
Right.
My mom's a little bit older than me, so I could lose my mom.
Yeah.
And I lost my mom before temporarily. And that was my first eye opener to be like, whoa, I should have really enjoyed that, my time with her. So when I got my mom back, it was like, oh, thank God. So when I do spend time with her, it's like, this is awesome. And we take that for granted. We're like, oh, she'll be here when I come tonight. Oh, they'll be here when I come tonight. They'll be here. And then when they're not there, it's like...
Maybe not. Right. Well, okay, I can just like maybe blow your mind just a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to blow your mind, but I'm going to give you what if I say it's possible?
What, time travel?
Yes.
Talk to me, Doc Brown.
So, I don't know how much you know about nanotechnology. But you know some stuff because you watched Avengers. So I'll go back to our nerd side of the conversation.
Okay.
So you know how they say that like in the quantum realm, like things don't work the same way.
Right.
Time doesn't move the same way. So from what I've done some research because I had a speech about nanotechnology in school, and so nanotechnology works in a way that like you can manipulate like so like tiny objects like in like microscopic level with like simple things like you twist or you do anything like you add a couple of atoms or you remove them, and because there's like so small these like small changes, you pretty much can tell the molecules or like this little like objects what you want them to do.
Okay.
So pretty much like this is not like in industry right now. It's not like being mass produced because it's really hard to figure out how to tell them what to do because it's like you need like billions of like molecules.
But this is all theory.
It is.
This isn't like nobody's actually pulled off time travel.
No, but so what I'm saying is like people are studying to figure out how to like control these molecules and make systems or computers out of that. If you can do that, you can pretty much do anything you want. So if you can like create let's say a machine or an elevator that like instead of like going up or down, go back in time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something that'll blow your mind because my brother told me this a very long time ago. Actually, when Back to the Future came out, I'm dating myself now because that was a long time ago. But we went and watched these movies. You come out of the movie theater and you're like, oh man, that'd be so cool. Like, what would I do? I'd go back see dinosaurs. You're kids. You come up with a whole bunch of theories. And my brother came up and said something. He's like, if time travel was possible, or it was going to be possible, somebody would have already come back.
True.
And he's like, we would have time travelers. So if we have them, we don't know. But it's not what he's saying is like, if you can travel through time, how do we know that we're in?
It's a hard concept because how is there a future,
Yeah.
Because we're living right now.
But how do we know that we're living in the furthest part of that future?
I know.
If we're in the edge of it. So what he meant to say is if that worked, how do we know that we're at the edge of edge of time?
I know.
Pretty much like Kang. Kang was like when the whole, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Loki, the Loki series, but Kang knew all the way until one point. That's when he was like, when that whole happened, he was like, wow, I've never gone past this point.
Right.
So they were at the edge of time, but there was people in the way back. So there's people still living that timeline, still going through it.
Right.
So same thing. How do we know we're not going through a timeline?
I don't think we're that special.
so like, are we at the edge of time? And if we're at the edge of time, then okay, sure, maybe. But then that means that there's nobody going to time. There's not going to be a time traveler.
Hey, it's all hypothetical, but this is what this podcast is all about.
I know. So, all right. Well, we really hope you guys enjoyed this series of this conversation. You guys know you can, if you want to submit, our listeners are welcome to submit any suggestions or questions about the podcast. You can reach us at trp@thisrandompodcast.com.
And also, if you like this content and you want to hear more from us, subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, and we appreciate you guys listening in. Don't forget to live your life one random day at a time.